Yo, what's up, muffles? So today we're going to be talking about thoughts and specifically how we can allow negative thoughts. Have you ever noticed that our thoughts cause us suffering? You ever noticed that our thoughts will sometimes, it feels like they're intentionally sabotaging us? They'll tell us we're not good enough, tell us we're not worthy of love, they'll tell us this person, we're not funny, they'll tell us we're not interesting, they'll tell us we're annoying. They'll tell us we're ugly, they'll tell us we're fat. They'll tell us all these things and we just believe it. We think, oh, the voice told us, therefore it's true. Oh yeah, the voice in my head told me, therefore I'm just going to believe it. So what I want to do is take you through a little experiment. Think of a red penguin right now. Picture it in your head. Think of the redness of it. Think of what the penguin looks like. Think of its beak. Think of its body. Think of its flippers. You've got that picture of a red penguin in your mind. Did you just think that thought? Were you the thinker of that thought? Now, it might seem like, oh, well, if I didn't think that thought, that picture wouldn't have come up in my mind. I was the one who caused the picture in my mind. I was the one who thought that thought. But truthfully, you weren't. Truthfully, if I didn't tell you to think of that, you wouldn't have thought of a red penguin. I was the one who caused that in you. You had no control over that thought being in your head. I created it. And can you control me? No, you can't control your external environment. See, your thoughts are just a response to your external environment. You have no control over them. A thought is simply just a thought. It's just an automatic response. But we think our thoughts are truly who we are. We think these thoughts are part of what makes up our identity. But it's just not true. So we can't control our thoughts. We can't. So what do we do when we have a negative thought? What do we do when we have a thought saying we're not good enough? Self-doubt. What do we do when we have self-doubt? What do we do when we say we're not happy? We'll never be happy. We'll never get over this thing. I'll never succeed in life. I'll never get money. I'll never get happiness. What do we do when we have these thoughts? Because we can't control them. And you've got to make a distinction here. Even though we can't control them, they're still your thoughts. You're still responsible for them. You just can't control them. And when we try and control them, this is when issues come. Because negative thoughts only get worse when you resist them, when you try and control them. So say if we have a negative thought, what can we actually do? This seems like this is a dire situation now. I can't control them, and so they're just going to take over my life. Look, you already can't control them. This control you thought you had is just an illusion. What we can do, though, is be aware of them. Be aware of them. And in today's society, we don't value awareness. We don't value just noticing something. Awareness is simply the noticing of something. And look, usually when we have a negative thought, we don't think to ourselves, oh, we're having this negative thought. Oh, this is causing us suffering. Oh, I'm having more negative thoughts over that. Oh, I'm overthinking that. We don't truly notice that. So what we need to do is when we have one of these thoughts, it will bring you in, it will suck you in. It has a sort of energy feel to it. You'll get sucked into it. And you'll probably have thoughts on top of that. You'll feel that like uncomfortable feeling. What we need to do is just say to ourselves, oh, notice it. There's a negative thought. This negative thought is causing me this feeling. You have to feel the feeling fully. You have to notice the thought fully. See how it's making your palms sweat. See how it's making your heartbeat fast. Feel it fully and do not resist it. I'll tell you this, if you resist it, if you try and push it in the back of your mind, it just comes out in other areas of your life and it literally just gets worse. It becomes more powerful. Look, if you have no resistance to it, your thought would go, come in, and then walk, come straight out, because there's no resistance. It just comes in and goes out. So you notice your resistance is the only thing that's keeping that thing there. And thing is with these negative thoughts, you've probably had these negative thinking patterns, certain ones for maybe years, months, maybe your whole life. You've had a certain negative thinking pattern, and it's like a habit. You'll think this thought and then think the thought of that, and you'll overthink, and then you'll feel shit. So it's going to take time to overcome this. So when you have the negative thought, just allow it. Say, this is who I am right now. I'm got a negative thinking habit. That's okay. I'm not going to be able to fix this that quickly. All I can do is notice it. And by noticing, you take a step back. You become the observer of the thought. You're not in the thought. You're not actually the thought. You're watching the thought. You're like, oh, this is a thought. It's causing me this feeling. I'm having another negative thought about that. Oh, that's interesting. And be compassionate towards yourself. Be kind towards that thought, even if that thought's negative, even if that thought's disturbing. Think, why am I thinking that? There must be some sort of reason. It's not because that's who I am. There's just must be some sort of, it's essentially an untruth in you. And when you get to the bottom of it, you'll realise that it's all just bullshit. So yeah, what you got to do is be aware of it and trust that awareness of that thought will dissolve it eventually. Just keep being aware of it and it'll dissolve it. So I'm going to take you through a little step-by-step process that I'll use if I have a negative thought. So this is one of the ones I had. I'm not interesting enough. I'm not interesting, basically. I'll have that thought in my head. First, set the intention that you're going to try and remember when you have that thought. You're going to try and remind yourself, oh, you're going to try and notice it. You're not going to be the thought, you're going to be the observer. So I had this thought, I'm not funny enough. Oh, okay. There's that thought again. I've had this thought a lot. Negative thought. And then I feel a bit of, ooh. But remember, I'll allow it because this is who I am right now. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay. Oh, I feel this feeling in me. It's that tightness in my chest. Okay, feel it fully. Okay, I'm feeling all that the sensory experience of the tightness in my chest. Okay, feeling that. My heartbeat's racing. Okay, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling anxious. I'm getting more thoughts on top of that. Okay, I'm noticing that. That's okay. Take a few deep breaths. Feel the palm. Feel the feeling for what it really is without your mind getting involved. Because it's just a feeling. That's all it is. The feeling's not bad. The feeling is just a feeling. Feel it fully. Allow it. And then allow yourself again to allow it. And then keep allowing it. And allow the resistance to allow it. Allow everything until you get, okay, I surrender to it. And so every time I'll get this thought saying, I'm not funny, or I'm not interesting, I go through that process. Allow, surrender, notice. And seriously, you literally just do that and this thought will melt away. This whole negative thinking pattern will melt away right before your eyes. I was just wanted to say, look, this will take time for you to remove this negative thought from your life, overcome it, okay? And when you're having this negative thought, noticing it, being aware of it is the most loving thing you can do. You understand? Like, having another thought about it is not loving. Getting all wound up by it is not loving. Stressing about it is not loving. The best thing you can do is notice it. And it's going to be painful at first to notice it, but you have to allow the pain. Because once you get through it, once you get through the resistance of noticing, you'll eventually be able to step away from the thought, and you'll be able to see it for what it really is. And what it really is just a thought. It's just some bullshit your mind's created. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Yeah, if you want to see more personal growth, spirituality, that sort of shit, subscribe. See you in the next one.